Hi, I'm Jed Sims of Totally Optimized Projects, and welcome to this session on the project governance. And as we said, it's about knowing what to do, when, why, and how. So how do you actually get this knowledge? How do you overcome and find the things you don't know, confirm the things you do know what to do, when to do it, why, and how? Well, that's what we're going to explain in this session. In the previous sessions, we've been through the 4 dimensions, the 4 value dimensions as well, the financial, staff, customers and shareholders. We've also gone through the 10 rules for project governance and the need to choose professionalism over hoped for results. This is not an area you're spending too much money and too much time and too many resources to just rely on hope. Project governance is a skill set, it's a knowledge set, it's know-how that has to be learned. That's the key thing. But it's not something you need to necessarily go back to school for, but we provide the resources that you can use when you need them in and on your projects. And I've been educating and supporting business executives in their governance roles now for over 15 years in multiple industries, from construction projects, systems projects, organisational redesign projects, rescuing projects from the jaws of death at times when the steering committee just did not know what to do as this project just continued to sort of just deteriorate, like watching someone get more and more ill. And so we've trained them. This is what you've got to look for. This is what you've got to take action on. This is the type of things you need to be thinking about before they happen, so you can preempt and ensure success. And some of our clients have then had their projects externally evaluated, and they've scored 5 out of 5 for governance effectiveness, the first time that rating agency had ever given that score. So what we're teaching obviously works. And now we've packaged that expertise and made it available on the web, in the cloud. So, do you know what you don't know about project governance? This is always the unknown question. I mean, Donald Rumsfeld made this very famous in his speech about the unknown unknowns, and this is part of what we're doing here. We're also confirming and correcting and colouring what you already know to make sure that it is effective and relevant to a governance role. So here we're going to go through the contents of the Project Governance Centre of Expertise. And the first section is called Start Here because this is where the indices are. This is your quick access to all the information. You don't read this site end to end. You access it as you need it to answer certain questions, to deal with certain issues. So we provide multiple different types of indices by topic, by the stage of the project, such and so we're at the business case stage, now what are the issues that we need to be dealing with, and so on. So we provide access there. And then the next section is about for project sponsors. They have full accountability for the success of the project, but what do you need to know to be effective? Who should be on your steering committee? How do you evaluate project managers? What are your key roles? What are the characteristics and attributes of successful sponsors? All these topics are covered in this section. And then we have a similar section for the steering committee, the governance team, the project board, whatever you want to call it. It has an essential role to play if it knows what to do and how to do it effectively. So again, why are you there? What is your role? What are the characteristics of a successful and effective steering committee? How should you manage your project manager? How should you relate to your project team? What is the perpetual timetable that you should be observing on any project? The fourth section is on the meetings. A lot of time can be wasted in steering committee meetings looking at the wrong reports, not having the information, or having the wrong discussions. So how should you set up your meetings so they are going to be successful and effective? How do you make sure you don't fall into some of the problems that too many steering committees fall into? What information should you be having and in what sort of format to be effective in your governance role? Then we cover the pre-business case stage. This is the stage that's often skimped or skipped completely, and people just go straight to the business case and then the governance team starts. That's too late. A lot of the potential project problems are locked in by the time you get to the business case. So you really need to get involved early and know what you're doing at the different stages in terms of, say, defining your requirements. If you're taking a package and someone says we're going to take it vanilla, we're going to take it out of the box and adapt the company to the software, not something we recommend, by the way, but if that's the case, should you skimp or skip business requirements because we're taking the systems package? Do we need business requirements? We answer that emphatically yes. So this makes sure that by the time you get to the business case stage, you have a viable project. At the business case stage, you need to make sure that the value is locked in, it's maximized and optimized, such that when you go forward, you're targeting the best value option in terms of the scope, the value you're targeting, how you're going about it, and that your project, and you can be assured that your project is set up for success. So many times we see projects approved at the business case stage which are set up to fail. Inadvertently, not intentionally, but they've got so many holes in the hull of this project that water is just going to continue to be pouring in, and those holes are going to get bigger and bigger until the ship of the project sinks. The business case stage is when you need to make sure all these are fixed. And then there's the value delivery stage, when the rubber hits the road and you actually move to and reap the benefits. Bearing in mind the governance goes beyond the end of the project, so how do you make sure that post-project that the benefits are going to be realised and realised in full? These are all topics covered. What are the risks? What are the threats? What are the leading indicators of failure that you as a governance team should be monitoring? Because they will give you an indication that your project's in trouble long before the official reporting does. These are some of the topics we cover under value delivery. And finally, there's a series of bonus materials. We talked in session 2 about the Tale of Two Projects. That book is available there, such that you can read how and see how easy it is for a governance team to oversee, to govern, monitor, and not manage a project to disaster. I mean, it's all very well saying, yeah, we know all that sort of stuff, until you see it and you say, well, actually, I can understand what they were doing and why they were doing it, and I can now see the results. Over 300 items of information. Some are understanding, some are how-to, some are training, some are information items. A whole range of different topics covering everything from the inception of and a consideration of the initial idea to the final delivery of the financial benefits to the organisation. The most comprehensive centre of expertise for executives ever. Importantly, it's written for business executives by business executives. My background is as a businessman. As a business executive, I'm not a project expert in the project management sense, and therefore we don't position project governance as a sort of superset of project management. This is about business change, about business results, achieving business value. That's what governance is all about. And so the Centre of Expertise is easily accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. It's available in the cloud. So even in governance meetings, if you have your iPad with you, you can, through the index, find the information you want, look at the questions to be asked, and contribute to the meeting. Comprehensive and comprehensively indexed, just find the topic you want at that moment in time. Includes both understanding and how-to, so what and why is there, as well as the how-to guidance. And in its structure, covers the when. When in the cycle of the project you need to be doing it. And short, focused, practical advice you can use immediately. There's no theory. We don't go into 17 hours of why this is the case. We're saying this is it. This is the issue. This is what questions you need to ask. This is the action you need to take. That's what you need. And just consider this, that billions have been spent on education project managers, but next to nothing's been spent on educating executives in project governance. And yet, if you remember where we started, more projects fail due to poor project governance than poor project management. It is essential that we build the knowledge and know-how of our executives in project governance to get the success we need and that we're investing in the project to achieve. As we've said earlier, if you think education is expensive, just try ignorance. What we're offering is the top project governance centre of expertise. It's available for both individuals and enterprises. So you as an individual can take this on and gain the benefits of using the centre of expertise, or an organisation can take it on for all of their executives and managers. And obviously different prices apply, and we'll talk about the individual price from here on in. The investment is typically a fraction of 1% of the project's costs. If you have a project that's more than $50,000, that's all. It's less than 1% of the project's costs. So this is not a big investment. This is a insurance to make sure that you actually get the real value. Organizational access includes team exercises to increase the likelihood of project success. There are several things you need to generate as a sponsor and steering committee that will increase your likelihood of success. For example, identifying the critical success factors, which are the prerequisites to success, not the measures of success. That's wrong. They're the prerequisites to success. If you know them, you need to manage them because they're the prerequisites to success. And if they don't exist or don't happen, you're not going to be successful. So identifying them is all part of the governance team activities, and we give you the tools to do that. And it's a no-risk monthly subscription. You can cancel at any time. If you're not getting any value, you can cancel. So this is important, that you educate yourself, the organisation, to improve the performance of your steering committee. So what do? You subscribe. It's no risk. It's no risk because it's designed for executives who take their governance role seriously. This is to help you become professional, to work on the basis of knowledge rather than trying to wing it and rely on hope. It's simple, practical, comprehensive, and easily accessible. You can access it on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer. And it's practical. It's written from a practical point of view. This is what you've got to do. These are the questions you need to ask. These are the things you need to look for in your project. Things that you maybe have never actually quite thought of before. Extreme value for $497 a month. As we said, a fraction of 1% of the cost of a budget. And if your project cost is about $5 million, then this is a 0.0001% or whatever it is of the cost of the project. It is not a major investment. There's also extreme value in how much are you willing to invest to succeed. If you can just improve the performance of your project by, let's say, 5%, it will have paid for itself numerous times over. That's part of the value equation. No risk, full money back guarantee in the first month. If in the first month you look at it, you say, no, can't see any use in this, then we will refund your subscription. Can't be fairer than that. We've never had to do it, but it means there's absolutely no financial risk whatsoever. So you need to act now to be assured of success. The governance team can destroy value faster than the project team. All of those projects that have failed in the last 30 years have been governed by governance teams who did not know what to do. We provide that knowledge so you don't get into that situation. Even our bonus of the tale of two projects, you can see there how even making the right decision at the wrong time can destroy a project. So you can't just sit there and say, well, I'll just make the decisions and hope they're right. That's not responsible management. As we've said throughout this series, you have a choice to be professional or an amateur, to rely on knowledge or on hope, to focus on the business or on the project, and deliver the value or make budget. These are major choices that you are probably making today non-consciously, and in many cases the choice has been made down the right hand side: amateur, relying on hope, focusing on the project and making sure it makes budget. That is what most steering committee members think they're there to do. That's wrong. And what we offer the opportunity is to be professional, relying on knowledge, focusing on the business to deliver the value. So we ask you, do you want to make your choice now to be knowledgeable professional, delivering total business value for a fraction of your project's costs? If you do, subscribe now, no risk. The link is on the page beneath this video. Subscribe to the top Project Governance Centre of Expertise. Be successful. It really is that simple.